why did you stay in London? That's my question.
Why did I stay?
Yeah.
So the show, I didn't expect it to like take off as fast as it did.
But why did you start a show? Who inspired you to do what you're doing?
Okay. Who inspired me? I would say I was a big fan of Kevin Samuels.
Right on.
And I thought he was really helpful. Like the stuff he was saying. So a lot of the first like early shows was me saying, oh my gosh, this is like the concept we're going to talk about. Like they're saying we don't like nice guys, we like bad boys. What do you guys think?
Right.
And I was kind of bringing my friends together and saying, what do you guys think of this stuff? You know, or something like that.
And what was your friends' responses?
I mean, it was mixed. Like the first one, I think she called men like pedophiles for liking younger women.
I don't get that. What is that? Is that a defense mechanism, or is that just a I'm going to push your buttons, I'm irritated at you?
I think it's just a shaming tactic that feminists
insult,
do to
shame,
compete.
and guilt.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, but so some, but what actually took off my channel wasn't even the show. It was a reaction series. Because what I would do is there would be girls that I would explain a concept to, and they would start to have the wheels like turn. They'd be like, when I would say, oh, the pay gap isn't real. You know, get these men out of our sports, just like basic stuff. And I would take the girls after the show and say, hey, watch this video with me.
Right.
And actually a lot of girls like came back and said their entire perspective on things changed because they did the reactions. Like these would be like 3, like sometimes 4-hour reactions. We would just sit down and like watch a hour Thomas Sowell, Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels
Thomas
video.
Sowell is amazing.
Yeah, I love him. He's actually, that's my dream person that I want to interview.
I was going to ask you, I don't want to skip, but since you're there, if you could have anybody on your podcast that's alive, who would it be?
Thomas Sowell.
Wow.
Mostly because the other ones I think I'll get, but he's a bit older, so I just feel like he's in his 90s. I'm like everyone else. Like I think I'm gonna get Jordan Peterson at some point. I think I'm gonna. I just have a feeling. I think a lot of the people that I would have wanted to.
Do you think you'll ever be invited to like a Joe Rogan show?
I think so at some point.
I think you will.
Yeah. I think for the documentaries I'm doing, I will.
And Matt Walsh?
I think yeah. I think I'll.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Daily Wire, you know, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because you're, you know, you are obviously you're a woman and you're an would you say anti-feminist?
Yes.
So you see it from the guy's perspective, and I don't want to say you're the Andrew Tate of a woman version, but that's what you're described as.
They call me that, yeah.
Right. So you know when people see you, because it's funny because there's a podcaster, I won't say her name, but she's like, oh, she saw you, she doesn't like you, right? And,
no.
and she said, oh, I'm not a feminist. I go, yeah, you are. 'Cause I did a debate with her, and she saw one of your things, and she cannot get past and understand why women will think like you. So maybe you can talk about the value of why you think the way you do.
Well, what was she mad about?
What are feminists always mad about?
Well, you said she thought she wasn't a feminist. So what, she was like one of the conservative feminists?
No, she says she's not a feminist, but she doesn't know what she is. She's delusional, right? Okay. So my point is that I think women that are, I call it, they're in the matrix, right? We call it in the matrix. And they're running around in this bubble, and they think that it's okay for their behavior and what they do is right, and that they don't want to lose their identity being with a man. This is the number one response I'm getting, the new trend. I lost my identity. I need to define myself.
I need to define. What do you mean you need to define yourself? Like, I'm sorry, everyone around you influences you. So what, do you lose? Do you lose yourself when you become friends with a girl? Because she influences you. Do you lose yourself with your parents when you spend time with them?
Right.
It's the most stupid.
I think what it is these younger women identify themselves by their Instagram. Their whole life is social media, right?
Right.
And I call it the female attention necessity disorder. That's my new term. And without social media, they lose their mind because of all the attention, the abundance of attention, versus the high value man has abundance and can pick and choose who he wants to be with. And so my terminology with fan is that if you take their, I lost my identity, I couldn't have my Instagram, and I'd never give my Instagram up for a man. You're choosing that as your identity over a relationship with a man. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So I think this whole self-proclaimed, I lost my identity, I didn't know who I was. I don't understand that. Now you talk with a lot of women on your show.
Yes, I
do you hear this response a lot? Like, I don't want to be controlled. I'm not going to be submissive. I'm not going to give them my IG. Can you talk a little bit about why you think they're doing that? Because you get a lot of that in London.
I mean, I think that most people in our generation have never seen a truly traditional relationship. Because even if their parents are married, I think most women run the show in marriages today.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the way that the laws are set up, the women have to run the show. Because if me and you are in a deal, right, and you can easily, and if you walk away from the deal, you lose everything. If I walk away, I gain everything. You're always going to be trying to make me happy.
So you have leverage.
Yeah. And so I think that like most, even married couples today, I think the women runs the show. I think most people have never seen a truly traditional relationship. And I think most people have never seen a woman like support a man. So
my question then would be, when women say it's not about money, but then I say, well, why don't you live together? You don't need to be married. Why do you feel they need to be married? Is it for leverage and money, or both, or either one? So going back to what we were just talking about, why do you think women want to be married then? Is it to have leverage and control and have access to the money? Or because if you propose what I'm about relationships. Okay. If you want to have multiple partners, fine. I don't, Jay Waller, he likes to date a lot of, great. And that's his deal and nothing against it. Go for it. I've been with the same woman for 4 years. I don't need to go out. I could, she says, yeah, if you want, but I'm so busy grinding, right? We're trying to go to the next level. But my point is, we're in a long-term relationship. Some women hate that. Is it because they don't have leverage, or is it because they don't have access to the money if it fails, or both?
I think women want status when they get married. So they want the status of being a wife, and they want a wedding day. I don't think most women really have thought. If you ask a girl a question about her wedding, she has a million responses. But if you ask her like, if you ask her like, I mean, how many people, where do you want to get married, all this stuff. But they never answer any questions about like what the marriage would actually look like. Like
so they have no idea.
No, because again, I think that most people have never seen it. I think most people, they either had parents that hated each other. They had parents that the woman ran the show. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does. But I think today it's slim.
And so you feel that now, can you ask, do you know, and you're 26 years old, right? Wow. Jeez. I don't want to tell you what I was doing at 26, but I was a male whore at 26. I'll be honest.
That's
my body count. No, but do you know a handful of people around you, and let's say the 40 and under generation that have been married for 15 plus years? Do you know anyone?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Okay, and are these people that you grew up with, or are these people, what do these people do? What's their lifestyle
like?
Wait,
are you saying, you said 40 and under?
40 and under. So
I have to think.
You can't talk about your parents. You can't talk about 60, 70, because that's a different generation.
Right.
I was on the cusp. Me and Rollo and Kevin were on the cusp of seeing it dwindle away, right?
I know.
See?
No, I don't. That's so true. You said what, 15 plus years?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You won't see it.
No.
There's too many distractions, in my opinion.
I know. Yeah, because I was thinking everyone I know is over 40. Wow. That's so true. Okay.
And so we know, and you've said this stat, by 2030, what is it, 50% of women will
be single and childless, yeah.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, it's super scary.
And then they're going to be on TikTok when they're my age talking about, I'm single. And then the next TikTok, nobody wants to date me, and they're crying.